Hello and welcome back to Hammer's Chat, where it's almost Christmas. Well, it's almost December, and if you're gonna it's almost done. It's not done. You can see there's nothing on it. I'm aware of that. So when you were pointing out, oh Charlie, that tree's a bit better. I know, it will get done eventually. It's just we're almost there. We just haven't got fully round to it yet. But it's almost the Brighton game as well, which is more interesting. Let's get onto that. Let's skip to that, shall we? Because that's more interesting. And there's a lot of interesting points going into it. This is a big game, I think, for West Ham. I could almost argue make or break. Now, that's obviously a bit dramatic, a bit OTT, and I'm not going to sit here and say that fully with my chest out. But I do think that this could be, or should be, let's word it like that. This should be a game in which we are comfortably getting the win. It's the right team at the right time at home. And I feel like there's some ways we need to go about that. That's what we're going to talk about today. First one off, Aaron Cresswell is a doubt. That's always a concern because that means you have to either change the system or you're playing after Masuaku at left back, which isn't really his vibe. Having said that, I can't act like he didn't play well in the first period of time when West Ham actually decided to play football against Manchester City, first 15 minutes or so. I thought he played all right in that game. I thought he played all right. And then again in the game before that, the Europa League game, I thought he played well in that as well. I can't sit here and act like he didn't. Of course, the perennial doubt with Alpha Masuaku is defending, but that doesn't mean that he's completely useless. Now, I'm not going to trust him defensively, especially over Aaron Cresswell, but going forward, in a team against a team that get a lot of draws, which is something we could maybe talk about in a second, it is important to have an attacking fullback. It is important to have someone who can take the ball past people. And that's what Masuaku does better than anyone else. And to be fair, the last couple of games when he has played, he's put in some crosses. I know. I didn't know he had it in him either. I didn't think he had it in him either. But he's put in a couple of dangerous crosses to where you're like, there was the one where Bowen hit it when he was at full stretch. You're like, maybe if that's Antonio, that goes in. There's a couple of those little opportunities, which means maybe, just maybe, and I am only saying maybe because I don't believe it myself either fully, it might not be the end of the world that Alpha Masuaku plays. I know. Now, listen, if Aaron Cresswell's available, if Aaron Cresswell's fit enough to where it wouldn't risk reoccurring the injury again or anything for the game, then Aaron Cresswell plays. Obviously he does. Arthur Masuaku getting that opportunity, I don't know. I'm just saying, current trends aren't too bad for Arthur Masuaku. I'm just putting it out there. Now, Ken, caveats, of course, he was playing against the Europa League side that we brushed aside relatively easily. In that game, he didn't have too much to do. And then in the City game, he was playing, in my opinion, at left wing. I know some people thought we were playing 5 at the back. My personal opinion is we were playing a 4-2-3-1 and he was at the left wing. We can argue about that all day, but the point is he wasn't playing left back. He wasn't playing left back. You know what I mean? Not a wing back. He wasn't playing left back. So obviously there's some caveats there. However, against a side like Brighton, who again are relatively difficult to break down. They concede a lot of shots from range, but that's mainly because I don't think you can get really in and around the area too frequently. They get a lot of draws. Again, a lot of draws. That's something I probably should have had on my screen. I can find it very quickly, but it's maybe something that could benefit us. How would I start? Probably still with the 4 at the back. I think that's the best option. I think we're trying to break a team down. That's what you want. You want to be 4 at the back. You want to be stepping to teams. You don't want to give them the back foot. I'm done with the 3 at the back, West Ham. We enjoyed it. We did well with it. Let's evolve past that. Let's take it to teams a bit more. Hopefully that can happen. Because again, Brighton get a lot of draws. If we're to look at Brighton's last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In Brighton's last 9 fixtures in all competitions, including the League Cup, 7 of them at full time ended in a draw. Now, the League Cup game then ended up going to penalties in which Leicester won, but previously to that, it did end as a draw. So 7 in their last 9 have ended in a draw. That shows the sort of like Brighton ethos. 3 of them are 0-0s, for example. They're a difficult team to break down. It's not going to be super easy. It's not that they don't concede. They have certainly conceded here. You're looking at Leicester, they conceded 2. You're looking at Brighton, they conceded 2. Liverpool, they conceded 2. Villa, they conceded 2. It's not like they don't concede ever, but they're certainly a lot better than people take them credit for. I think we look at their early season form And it was brilliant. They were killing it early season, and they've dropped off since then. But they've not dropped off into just sheer losses. They've dropped off into draws. And if that is the bottom of Brighton's playing style this season, then that's good for them. That's good for them. And so we need that a bit more attacking intent, which comes to the next point, and that's Manuel Lanzini. Should he come back in? I don't know. And this is where I want your opinion, because I haven't decided yet, and I'd love to know what you say to try and convince me either way. Because to be honest with you, he scored a banger against City, fair play, and I thought he was lively before then. European fixture, I don't think he was all that good. I think I'm in a minority there. I certainly don't think he was killing it in that game. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people were very for Manuel Lanzini's performance in that game. I personally was like, he's fine. He's played okay. He's not played badly, but I don't think he was largely super effective. And then in the games previously to that, I think he has played well. So there's some up and downness, at least in my opinion, which makes me think, do I want him back in? Because the thing is, if he's coming back in, it would be for Saïd Benrahma. Because realistically, you're not going to drop Fornals and you're not going to drop Bowen. Like, Bowen's probably coming in. Bowen's probably taking up that right wing slot. Fornals will be on the left. It's going to be that number 10. It's going to be that guy in the hole behind Antonio, right? And that's just systematically, that makes sense. I don't know if that's how I would say that systematically. Systematically. The point is, the system dictates that it would probably be Benrahma who's the guy to be droppable in that situation, because Bowen is so good and Fornals is so good at what they do defensively. And so, when you're looking at it being in a direct shootout between Benrahma and Lanzini, I'm fiddling with a pen, that's why it's in my hand, I apologise. Does Lanzini come back in? I honestly don't know. Benrahma, both players have this, I was going to say Benrahma, but I think it's fair to say both players. Both players have this brilliant tendency to they can both pull out something incredibly special out of nowhere. You know, Lanzini has that. The difference between them, Benrahma's maybe going to sit a little bit further forward. He's going to want to get involved in the play basically in the final third, whereas Lanzini likes to drop deep. He likes to be almost in line, sometimes even deeper than Rice and Souček in the build-up phase. He likes to, in the transitional phase, he likes to drop deep, get involved with play quite far back. And against a team like Brighton, who have, say, who play a 3 at the back, they have a 3-5-2 kind of ish formation. That can make sense. That can make sense, because if you're playing against the 3, having someone who's going to drop deep from the 10 into that role to almost give us a de facto 3 in midfield, who also has the ability to control the ball in tight situations, to keep possession and find those forward passes, as Gio always used to say, create for the creator, that kind of thing. Someone who's going to sit deep, do a little bit of jiggery pokery, I've said that now, with his feet. Very weird way to word it, but to dribble past people in tight spaces and to consistently progress the ball, it can be incredibly useful. But equally, when you're playing against a team of 3 at the back, it's equally probably incredibly useful to have someone who's just going to sit essentially behind Antonio, be able to create, to be able to consistently take shots from range accurately as well. Something I really think Benrahma has the ability to. He can hit them from range brilliantly. He can just snap shots and constantly be on target. It's one of his best traits, and I almost wish he would do it more. If they're conceding a lot of shots from range because they are sitting deep, not only have him having the ability to create pull spaces in and around the defense, which is what Benrahma does, but also have those shots can be unbelievably useful. So I'm just really undecided. I can't figure out which one I think is best for this game. And that is, again, where I want you to come into play. Who do you think should start? Do you think it should be Benrahma, or do you think it should be Lanzini? Equally, let me know how you feel about the Masuaku situation. If Cresswell isn't available, do we switch to a back 5? If we switch to a back 5, for example, Masuaku, Lanzini and Benrahma almost becomes a moot point, because I don't think either of them start. I think we just go back to what we used to do. You have your back 5, you have your 2 in midfield of Rice and Souček, you have 3 ahead of them being Antonio in the middle, Fornals on the left and Bowen on the right. So do we change to that back 5, or do we stick with the back 4 and play Masuaku at left back? I want to know your opinions. Maybe there's something I've not even thought about in these sort of permutations. Maybe there's something there which I just haven't even considered yet. Feel free to tell me how wrong I am in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like if you haven't already, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be live, of course, tomorrow from 1 hour and 5 minutes before kickoff of the build-up show. The watch-along then starts at half an hour before kickoff, which I implore you to join, because it doesn't happen unless you lot get involved, because it's just me by myself and the chat. So if you are around, I would love to see you. And yeah, we then, of course, have the review at full time. So make sure to come and get involved in West Ham Hammers Chats match day coverage of the game. I'm excited. It will probably end a draw. Brighton do love a draw, and we aren't in a scintillating form. However, there could be some stings in the tail, some twists in the tail, if you want to use tail twice, but in two separate ways. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I hope you are too. Come get involved if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. Come you irons, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.